daughters who give $1 a month and are just as important as I am or anyone else involved. But also it's kind of, important to make sure that our members are part of the process and connected. So, most of our projects are found from our members who can submit right through the website.
Hey, Tenders.
Say, hey, I have a neighbor down the street.
It is your girl, Ash.
And then for us,
let's see. I'm on my way to get my hands and feet done. I always have one place where I put my keys, but for some reason, because I have 2 sets, I put it somewhere else, and I was scrambling trying to find my keys. But I'm trying to be more consistent with this vlogging thing. For me, a lot of times, of course, I'm single, so I don't have anyone like routinely like riding with me in my car. So there's a lot of like long roads here that don't have a lot of traffic. So for me, it's like just a form of kind of gathering my thoughts and thinking about things, especially like on the way to work. I had the pleasure of taking a trip to Israel with one of my friends, Rochelle, and with a lot of my friends, I'm the type of person where I don't have to talk to you all the time. I don't have to see you all the time, but it's like the thing that brought us together as friends is like we never left each other. So that was no different, meeting her in Israel, which was an amazing experience. I need to do a video on that because it personally like touched me in a total way. But I was able, during the vacation, able to actually sit and talk with her, and we talked about so much. And she's taken a class dealing with positivity and motivation. So a lot of our conversations was surrounded about that. Like, how do you keep yourself positive? How do you keep yourself motivated? And by you creating that for yourself, you'll automatically bless other people because it's going to be manifesting and you're going to be serving others. So those topics for me were things that I really needed to hear, because I think in your daily routine sometimes, because one of the main things for me that I gained from Israel is that peace is possible. Like, another thing we're talking with Rochelle, like where I am now in Italy is the perfect opportunity to travel and to do things. And sometimes I have made a habit of making other people's things my priority. And what I'm learning, and what I learned, is that you have to take allotted time to decompress, like time for relaxation. And I think a form of being in anxiety and fluster and chaos became so much of a norm that I did not know how, or have not felt in a long time, with just peace. And maybe it's a spiritual thing in Israel, that there is this essence, this energy and this ease to the country. The people are beautiful, kind, loving. You have this pouring out of people, all walks of life, coming especially to Jerusalem, in the holy city, to get something that they're seeking, and to be humble and to surrender and to of course there's a lot of monuments like dedicated to Jesus, but for instance, like they have this thing called the Anointed Rock, and that would be one of the things that moved me the most, is that this rock is where they laid Jesus after he was crucified, and they washed his body and they prepared him for burial. And to see people kneeling, to see people emotional, to see people wiping of the rock, and just all of these people coming together for that common thing was just such a beautiful thing. But what I would take from that trip mostly overall is that peace is possible. So we have to create spaces routinely, and we also have to plan to have downtime to rest. Like, it's very important to rest, because you could, and sometimes I don't even think I knew it. Like, it was just annoying where you're going and going and going. But to be honest, folks, tenders out there, if you're going through that, that is not healthy. But her overall conversation gradually moved into, come on, old man. You'll be late for my appointment. Is, other than peace is possible, is creating the life that you want. So as far as for me, you know, finances, a relationship, what else, happiness, you know, is putting yourself out there to get those things. So I did a video, a convo yesterday about go with the flow in relationships, and I have I'm in the medical career field, and one of the nurses that I work with, she's like, every time I mention like what I'm doing on the weekend, she's like, you need to go out and you need to, you know, meet people. It's like, if I am working on myself, and, you know, eventually the man that's right for me and seeking me, it'll happen. But my intention, if I have the intention of wanting a committed relationship someday, and that's a part of my happiness, not to create the happiness, but to be in addition to what I already have, that I have to put myself in places where God can give me those things. So it's more of, even though there's a culture of manifesting, a part of that is creating, which I was listening to Devon Franklin book, Hollywood Commandments, and that's one of the things that he was talking about, just the controversy with the church. And I'm not an expert in spirituality and religion right now, and there's no judgment for anybody else. I feel like, you know, I got so much going on in my life that my ultimate goal is to make me a better person. So I don't have time to judge people. I don't have time to, if it's not hurting me and it makes you happy, because so many people can't even find happiness and are working to create happiness, then do you, boo. Do you. But he was talking about, if you have the intention and you pray, like, prayer alone is not going to give you what you want. Prayer alone is not going to give you what you want. So if you praying for it, you know, you have to make room to receive it, you know. So it was just awesome conversation. So that's one of the things that I'm taking, is that peace is possible. And then the conversations that me and my friend had is creating the life that I want to live, and, you know, being very honest and clear. Like, what type of man do I want? What type of career do I want? And being, you know, so specific about what you want, and not being afraid to list those specific things, because I think sometimes that, you know, I can't speak for other people, but you'll change your mind, or you'll make certain changes because deep down inside you probably think that it's not achievable. But going off of your first instinct of, you know, what you really want, is that what you really want? And knowing this is exactly what I want, so you can start to create it. So she gave me homework, and she which I love my friends, like, you know, more so to have an accountability partner, because right now I know that God is calling me, and I want to hone my gifts. Because another thing that I learned, there's so many things about this trip, along with creating, I'm not giving enough, I'm not serving enough. And that's fine that I need my alone time, But I need to give, and I probably do give in ways, small ways, throughout, work, because that's the majority of my week. Whether it's smiling, being kind to someone, giving them a word, doing a nice gesture for someone, taking care of something for someone, taking something off of their list. But I need to find ways to put myself out there to give, whatever it is. For me, I feel like I'm a great listener, and for me, interpersonal skills of, I want people to be inspired. It's really weird because I can be very quiet, but there's something in me that I don't like to see people sad. Like, whatever problem they have, I want to solve it. And finding a place to serve in that way. And also listening. I'm a great listener. A lot of people don't listen enough. Like, I can't even get out what I need to say. You're already thinking about what you need to say. And most people have the answers to their questions because they'll ask a question, and within them explaining themselves, they're answering it for themselves. So they're really talking out and solving their problem. But finding ways to serve so that I can give them things, because I never looked at it that way, and maybe because I avoided it. But if I'm asking my higher power for something and I'm not trying to give it to someone else, or like Rochelle said, create it, then how can he, what sense does that make for me to expect for him to provide the things that my requests, but I'm not going beyond myself to give it? So whatever way, like these videos, and really going outside of my comfort zone to make an effort to do it, because people need it. People are suffering, people are lost, and this is something beyond the job, because that's what I'm coming to the realization of, my job. Like, I, love the opportunities that is afforded, but there is something more. There is, from that trip that I took to Israel, there's things out here, materials it can't feel. And so being served by people and seeing certain things and feeling certain things and having that peace, like peace, it may seem simple, but peace is possible. That is a big thing. And I, leaving that trip, I just really in a long time have not felt that peaceful, where I really like decompressed. Like, it was, some of the best laughs that I've had, some of the best food, some of the best company, the scenery, the sleep, the gorgeous men. Oh my goodness. I was like, Jesus. But it's invaluable. You can't take that for granted. I think a lot of people lose sight because we get so much in the routine. And when I say some people, myself included. So I'm late to my appointment, but she's probably not ready anyway. But I'm trying to be consistent with these vlogs to put myself out there, because I know that if I'm thinking about things, that other people are probably thinking about those things as well. So there was really no organized flow to it, but I was just letting it flow. But I hope you guys are feeling happy, you're feeling blessed, you're feeling encouraged, you are feeling motivated, you are feeling positive. I hope that you are just being in the moment, and that if you're not, that this video will make you feel those things. But stay blessed, tenders. Bye.